been close to 2 months now that I started on my voyage around the world on board the Queen Elizabeth. After crossing the Atlantic Ocean and the Panama Canal, I crossed the Pacific Ocean to arrive in Sydney, Australia. Now I'm heading north towards Southeast Asia. Our course is set for Hong Kong, Bangkok and Singapore, the dragons of the South China Sea. We come into Brisbane, the capital of Queensland. Just a pit stop to take on water and supplies. Hong Kong, the next major city on our route, is more than 10,000 kilometers away. 14 days at sea.
The ship hit in a week?
4,666,000 dozen eggs.
Not in a week.
Yeah.
Not in a week?
In 14 days.
14
Well,
days?
that's 2 weeks.
Yeah. 4,666 dozen. Yeah.
We took about 9 containers of various goods from Europe, which was 3 frozen containers, about 2 dry containers, some beverage.
From England, you say?
All from England, yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
So before to make a cruise, do you check how many German, how many French, how many Japanese?
What we try to do, we actually have, on a regular basis, we have a nationality breakdown that comes into the ship. Then yes, we will make sure we got enough German sausage on board, sauerkraut, those sort of items. Again, with the Japanese, we make sure then we stock up a few more Japanese items.
This is for the French.
Ah, snails, of course.
Not just for the French, but it's for all of us as well. Yes.
I join a little group of passengers a few decks up. They've gotten into the habit of observing a new ritual, the French aperitif. March the 4th. We're heading for Port Douglas, 1,500 kilometers north of Brisbane. After traveling for 2 months, I've lost my sense of time. The days still have 24 hours, but just what day is it? Monday? Tuesday? Saturday? It's not really important. I'm not living outside of time. I just savor it differently, that's all. I think about our next port of call, about enjoying each sunrise and sunset. I'm taking time off from time. This carefree attitude is a privilege. For the crew who work 7 days a week, today is a day like any other. And for the captain, even here at the far end of the earth, Sunday remains the Lord's Day.
Crucified, dead, and buried, he descended into hell. The third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, to the glory of thy holy name.
Roosevelt was sworn in as 32nd President of the United States. the first to be elected for a third and...
Well, thanks Amanda, and a very good morning everyone. Welcome to the Weather Report with me, Gemma, as we head over to Port Douglas, the Great Barrier Reef. Such a beautiful place, I've been there once before. It's going to be great, and the weather is going to be beautiful as we head over here. It's going to be sunny, partly cloudy. I have two special mentions. First of all, for our 48 guests from Paris, bonjour. The weather in Paris is as follows. As usual, raining and grey. And finally, I am going to do the weather in Tibet, in China. This is for Simon. Good morning, Simon. The weather in Tibet is sunny, partly cloudy, highs of 11 Celsius. Anyway, that's all from me. Back to you, Amanda.
Well, thank you very much for that, Gemma. That's
March the 5th. We drop anchor at Port Douglas.
Well, each piece of chain weighs about 75 kilos, about 150 pounds. The anchor is, I think, 13.5 tons. Yeah, it's quite heavy. It's about 6 or 7 cars crushed together to make the anchor. It makes it easier for you. Yeah.
How did you arrive here?
Well, early 80s, I came on to the Pacific Princess. I don't know if you know the Pacific Princess.
By name.
Did you remember, when you were a young boy, do you remember the series The Love Boat? Yep, of course. That's the ship I was on, the Love Boat. That's where I started off, on the cruise side. But I've been at sea for 41 years nearly now, so it's a long time.
And are you fed up with the sea?
No, I still love it. It's kind of like a gypsy in me. Always got to see what's on the next wave or the next country. It's really spectacular. I mean, things I've seen, it's just amazing. I've only got one more place to see on my list now, and that's it. But that's inland, that's Machu Picchu. That's
Machu Picchu?
Yeah, that's what I want to see next.
I leave the Queen Elizabeth to board the little dive boat that will take us to the Great Barrier Reef. "450 species of coral, 1,500 varieties of fish, 4,000 types of shellfish. The Great Barrier Reef, with its extremely rich and varied sea life, is a wonder of nature, and since 1981, a World Heritage Site. The Great Barrier Reef, which stretches over 2,900 kilometers, is the result of the slow growth of coral. On an average 1 meter every 1,000 years, a masterpiece of nature, but now menaced by pollution and global warming. March the 6th. We're nearing Cape York, the northernmost point of the Australian continent. It's a tricky passage to navigate, for this is where two oceans meet.
Simon? How do you do, Simon? Nice to meet you.
What exactly is a pilot?
Well, a pilot is somebody with the qualifications of a captain, but has had a lot of local experience. And I spent most of my working life here in the Barrier Reef in ships. And a pilot assists the captain and all of his officers to safely do the job. We're just another safety layer. Best aid, we always say the best aid to navigation is the windows, the large windows, because yes, you keep, if it looks right, if you've been here often enough, for me I can look at it and say, it looks right, it is right. So we use a combination. I'll look at it and say, okay, the navigators will be using electronic charts and they will say, okay, and then we will act together. If somebody says, well, wait a minute, we check it out just to make sure that we're safe.
We've passed the Torres Strait between Australia and New Guinea, and we're heading west. Borneo, our next stop, is 6 days and 5,000 kilometers away. We're nearing Borneo. As we approach Kota Kinabalu, the Malaysian pilot comes on board.
Good morning, pilot. How are you? How are you? Are you happy with the film crew? What can you give?
Morning, pilot.
Okay.
So,
Still,
after 11.
no problem. Should be enough
Okay.
space there.
Borneo. The mere name evokes a burning, constructive passion of my youth. When I was 16, Pierre Schoendorfer's novel, Farewell to the King, which takes place here, set me on the path of globetrotting. I'm not surprised to find that Kota Kinabalu is a modern city, one of so many that today's world produces. I still hope I'll be able to find some back roads, some hidden trails that will lead me to the lost tribes in the heart of the equatorial forest. But it would take several days to reach the Dayak or Iban villages. So I reluctantly settle for exploring the little lanes of Kota Kinabalu's colorful market.
Pekan is a town and Kota Balut is the name of this area.
Okay.
Yeah. Kota Balut is divided by two. The Bajau land Bajau, and also the Dusun people. Where they find that the Dusun people is a descendant from the Mongolia people.
From the Mongolia?
Yes.
Ah.
Same like the Murut and some other tribes, but Bajau is from from Philippine Island.
Philippine Island?
Philippine Island.
Each one have his own language?
Yeah, we speak our own languages. Even though they are different sub-tribes, but if they speak that language, we know this is listen. That is the
betel nut?
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember I show you how they are
to cut, yeah?
Cut it, yeah? Oh. Hah? Saya lihat.
Kasi begini.
Aha.
Tapos tuh kau makan apa?
Is it spicy?
Iya. Baru kau makan. Iya.
Good.
Kau katakan pada dia jangan terlanjur punya air liur itu.
Oh, if you not speed, you will feel like dizzy.
Okay.
So you have to speed it. Yeah, it's time to rap. I can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Not far from Kota Kinabalu is a community of Bajau. These sea gypsies, formerly nomads, used to live on floating villages a few kilometers offshore. Now that they've become sedentary, they live in stilt houses.
Hello.
Most of these people will live like this area.
They're fishermen?
They are mostly fishermen, yes, that's right. So the land Bajau prefer to live like this. They originally sea Bajau, they live in, they spend their lifetime in the boat. They don't have any house.
Ah. But they belong to a country? They are Malaysian?
They are Malaysian.
Hello.
Hey, Chef, sini pula kau. Ya, untuk dorong punya negara kan, kasih promosi this, my friend.
Good.
Yes.
For several years now, the deforestation of the island has been accelerating. Since no natural preserves have been set aside in the heart of the forests, Borneo's orangutans are now in danger of extinction.
Orangutan, why they call it also orang-utan? Orang means human, and utan means forest. We also call it wild man of Borneo.
Wild man of Borneo.
That's why.
So this is two family?
Yeah, two family. They don't live in the group. They prefer to live solitary. Some research, actually they can live about 17 years.
And where did you learn to make some bread?
Back home.
What is your country? India?
India.
India?
I'm from Goa.
Do you know with your knowledge you can open a restaurant everywhere in the world and become very rich?
We have a plan to open a bakery back home. Because my brother is also a pastry chef in Queen Mary. He's working in Queen Mary.
Alors.
You know this.
The German will complain today, huh?
please.
Very good, yeah? Delicious.
Thank you.
March the 14th. We come into Hong Kong. The city is blanketed in a thick mist, a sort of London fog. A parting gift from the British after a century and a half of colonization? Not until we're just a few hundred meters from Victoria Port do the dizzying high-rise buildings loom out of the fog. For me, Hong Kong is already China. But for the English living here, a certain air of the British Empire clings to the city. And there are still 250,000 British residents here. Every day since 1888, the Star ferry boats have been shuttling passengers back and forth between the island of Hong Kong and the mainland. A veritable institution. Kowloon, tiny stands or ultra-modern shopping malls, the city's pulse beats to a single rhythm: business.
And about you, so you English and you live here. Do you think you still belong to the Crown or you belong to...
No, Hong Kong listed, Hong Kong registered. Many people like myself are Hong Kong permanent residents. I have 2 daughters living here, 4 grandchildren. This is home. I'm proud to be British, but I'm proud to be also Hong Kong, so this is my home, yeah. This desire to get business done very quickly at every opportunity is there. We brought, as a chamber, we brought a system of what's called the company scheme, and this strong entrepreneurial, natural entrepreneurial desire is there, even with young people. And you'd be amazed at some of the ideas and how innovative people are. And you know, that is one of the great strengths of Hong Kong.
I head out of Kowloon for Aberdeen on the south coast of Hong Kong. Aberdeen is a bustling fishing port that supplies a good part of the city's seafood. But the trawlers now have to coexist with the dozens of sampans giving tourist excursions. Today, does Hong Kong still have something of a British identity, or is it more like a heritage that is slowly fading?
Now it's part of China. We are, of course, Chinese. Our roots are Chinese. That is, we continue in our everyday life to live a Hong Kong lifestyle. But you can't say that we're really English. We're Chinese. But you can't really say that we're 100% Chinese because we've picked up English customs.
Yes, I can see what you mean.
That's to say we're a bit of a mixture. He says things are hard, but life goes on. If these professions disappear, we have to change to carry on.
Has life in Hong Kong changed a lot since he was little?
First off, everything has become so expensive. It was less expensive before. Life is hard for them too.
So there are still dwellings in the bay? People living on their boats?
About 1,000 families live in Aberdeen Harbour here.
1,000?
1,000 families still live here.
Stores, workshops, restaurants. Hong Kong is a working town. Space is scarce, but no matter. The city tackles the mountain. It abhors a vacuum. With 7 million men, women and children, Hong Kong is one of the planet's most densely populated areas. And one of the most surprising as well.
It's only for personal consumption. No, not personally out in the markets. So by featuring local dishes as we go around the world, then obviously we're giving people a flavour of what of the region that we're in. The blueberry is from Chile, the strawberry is from Korea and California, and the box there says the pears is from Colombia. So
this is new in
true globalization. The flies are local.
You're sure?
Absolutely. Fish over here, live fish.
Yeah. So you say that in here everything is fresh?
I would think everything is fresh. Most of it's still moving.
This one, what is it?
And this is a tube.
A turtle? No.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the fish we're gonna buy.
The grouper.
Grouper.
Yeah.
200? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can take it alive. Fine.
Alive? No, no. A big or?
Yeah. This is good.
This? Okay. Oh, okay. Yipa?
Some coriander.
I saw coriander there.
Yeah. Fresh one on the ship.
We're about to get underway. The neon lights take over as night creeps into the city. Captain Wells, who has been in command since we left Le Havre, has finished his tour of duty. His replacement has arrived and gets straight to work.
Good evening. And it gives me great pleasure now to introduce to you the Master of Queen Elizabeth. Please put your hands together and welcome Captain Julian Burgess.
Thank you, Keith. Good evening, everyone. My word, there's a lot more here than I thought. There was another captain on for the first half of the world voyage, Captain Wells, and he left us in Hong Kong to go home, and I have now taken over and will be taking the ship all the way back to Southampton. Anyway, once again, a very good evening. Welcome on board. Do have an excellent voyage, and I look forward to seeing you around the ship. Thank you.
March the 16th. We're sailing south towards Vietnam. Lowering clouds, a rainy day. The South China Sea is acting up like the North Atlantic. I use the day to get back to my behind-the-scenes investigations. First stop, the linen room.
Clear mo like clear mo muna.
So, do you know approximately how many towels per day?
A lot siya.
A lot, yeah? Can you imagine?
1,000, yeah.
Oh.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, yeah?
Teamwork.
Good spirits.
Yeah. I've been working in the ship for 16 years. But at home, I'm not doing this laundry, you know. At home.
At home?
It's my wife doing the laundry.
Really?
You have such a big head.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to the kitchen. So we have the fish here. Joey, have you got any more garlic? We're going to put this inside. And we're going to take some coriander. Where's he gone with the coriander? Over there. Also our crab. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Depends really on the size of the fish.
So since 2 months, I didn't see a kitchen.
I've only seen a kitchen for 2 months. We have some sambal, which is a chili sauce.
Sweet and sour and spicy.
With a kick.
Yeah.
Yeah?
With a kick, yeah.
With a kick.
So when you're not working, do you cook?
All the time. I think it's in your heart, right? It's a passion. So we're just going to check the fish.
So do you teach your son how to cook?
He's already, it's in his blood too.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
What can he do?
He's 7 years old. So we're doing the barbecue together and everything else. Beautiful, no?
Yeah. How many meals a day you have to cook?
We do about 12,000 meals a day.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna just, we don't have a bigger bowl now. So there we go. I'm gonna put some fresh coriander on the top.
Like a nyokman.
Yeah, the dressing. This is how they have it in Thailand.
Oh, yeah. Where do we start?
Well, take a seat.
Claudia, come on. Come on.
Will demonstrate the flavor.
That is so good.
It's amazing, no?
Yeah. Wow.
So terrible. Let's do critique.
I think it tastes very fresh, and the flavors, like you say, they explode in your mouth. Huh? Very good.
This, you know, with a little bit of steamed rice, you don't need anything else. And a beer. One beer.
Yeah.
Is the fish white wine?
Yeah.
Vegetables like tomato, potato.
March the 17th. Bad news. The thick fog that greeted us in Hong Kong has shrouded the region of Phou. Since the approach to the port lacks certain safety measures, the captain cancels the stopover and we continue south. So I will never get to appreciate the legendary beauty of Phou's women.
Well, I could say I'm a voyager, but a voyager who forced himself to leave.
You mean against your will?
Not against my will, but still, the duration, 4 months, I had to push myself a bit for that. You leave, but you wonder if you're going to find everyone still there when you get back. A voyage is dreaming. A globetrotter is, in fact, a dreamer. And a boat allows you to dream more than the plane. For example, when I went to Madagascar, it was 21 days on the boat.
From Marseille, right?
Yes, from Marseille. My father was going for work, and we were taking the boat. I've been lucky enough to make some interesting trips, especially back then when a cruise was, let's say, reserved for a certain category of fairly well-off people.
March the 19th. During the night, we left the South China Sea and headed up the Saigon River for about 30 kilometers. In the morning, we docked at Phou, the port of Ho Chi Minh City. In 1975, Saigon was renamed Ho Chi Minh City in honor of Uncle Ho, father of the revolution. Motorcycles, millions, an uninterrupted flow made in China coursing through the streets of this rapidly changing metropolis. Steel and glass towers have begun to dot the skyline, but the buildings constructed by the French when this was part of Indochina will continue to shape the city's personality for some time to come.
Notre-Dame de Saigon. Notre-Dame de Saigon. You see the bricks to build this cathedral. They import it from France, from Marseille.
From Marseille?
Yeah, and the color of the bricks never change the color.
What is the difference between what is a Viet Q, what is a Viet Minh, a Viet Cong? There is so many Viet something and I don't know.
Yeah. Viet is Viet people, right? Viet. Our country is Vietnam. Vietnam means the Viet people living in the south, in the south of China. Okay, Viet Q means the Vietnamese people living overseas. Viet Cong means Vietnamese communists. So it doesn't matter they come from north or they come from south. If they support communism, American call them Viet Cong.
Colonization, the Vietnam War, that's all ancient history. The country is on the march, even though the Vietnamese are still very attached to their traditions.
Wow, look at the ceramic statue. It was there for over 100 years old. It's beautiful. That connect to their legends, the Chinese legends. But there's different incense as well. So this one can last for 24 or even 48 hours.
So when the incense is finished, the wish is done?
The wish came to the lady already.
Okay.
The lady got it. How many?
5 all?
No.
What is it?
Only 5 birds. How about he give you 6 birds?
Okay.
Okay, and now you make your quiches. Okay, you make your quiches and you release the bird.
Okay.
Wow, one.
One.
Okay.
Allez.
Fly all. Okay, the last one.
Un petit peu, petit. Allez, envole-toi. Et voilà. So did you find some insects?
No.
Did you? No.
I was looking for you.
Really?
Yeah.
You looking for insects, yeah. We didn't
Thailand.
find any.
We'll find insects in Thailand.
Okay.
Bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, the Queen Elizabeth pursues her route in the South China Sea. March the 21st. We call in at Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. Pagodas, gold-leaf chedis, monks garbed in the traditional saffron-colored robes. Bangkok is a picture book open onto the ancient kingdom of Siam. March the 22nd. I spend the day at Koh Samui, a tropical paradise island anchored in the middle of the turquoise waters of the Gulf of Thailand.
Going on for many years on Cunard liners. Many different departments have won it in the past, and today the gauntlet has been thrown down once again. Our gallant teams are going to be fighting for one of these, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful tug-of-war trophy. Can we have an ooh?
I don't know if it's the steamy tropical heat, but the crew and passengers are all loosening up more and more every day. And there's a playful schoolyard atmosphere on deck. March the 24th. After Auckland, Sydney and Hong Kong, I arrive now in Singapore. This round-the-world trip is starting to look like a tour of honour of the British Empire's star cities. After a long period as a sleepy backwater of the British Empire, this trading post established in 1819 by Sir Thomas Raffles has, in just a few years, become a model of economic success. At the dawn of the 1980s, Singapore, along with South Korea, Taiwan and Hong Kong, was one of the Gang of Four, a dragon of Southeast Asia.
Morning.
Like Hong Kong and Shanghai, Singapore has become a reference in terms of architectural innovation. The country depends on foreign manpower, mainly Chinese and Malaysian, to keep its economy running. More and more businessmen from the world over are moving to Singapore, like Julien, a Frenchman who has been living here for several years.
When you come here, the sport is golf. With the number of golf courses here in Singapore, I think there must be about 20 or 30. So it's a must here to be signed up in a golf club, to have your membership in a country club.
That's the ultimate.
Right. Car, the credit card, the condo, the career, and the country club. That's it, the 5 C's. The 5 C's that spell success in Singapore.
The keys to success in Singapore.
Right.
Bon, bah cool.
The Chinese make up a large majority of the population, but each different community has its own district, streets, and stores. So, what is this Mustafa Center?
The Mustafa Center is the favorite shopping mall of the Indians here. If there's one thing you can say about this place, it's that you can find anything and everything at the Mustafa Center. You see, it continues with those small stands.
It's huge.
Up to the second floor, where you have
the food, looks like, and the clothes over there. But it's okay, it seems relatively neat and tidy compared to India. I was really expecting something more like a jumble sale. It's funny, you really have a symbol of Singapore right here. You have the wide diversity that's all around us and a common pot in the center. It's a nice metaphor.
Yes, that's the image of Singapore. The food of all the ethnic communities here gathered right in the heart of town. That's the good thing about Singapore.
Julian's wife and daughter meet us for lunch.
So, Cathy, do you feel Chinese, French, or Singapore?
You mean myself? Do I feel Chinese?
Chinese?
I'm just here 1.5 years. So I'm still very Chinese. Most of my life is spent in China.
China. Is it easy for Chinese people to come work or to come to live in Singapore?
It's very easy.
It's very easy?
Yeah, because Chinese is one of the language and English too, so it's very easy. This is very Singapore too. It's very Singapore.
You speak French? Tu parles français avec papa?
You speak French with Julien?
Oui.
No, in fact, mostly, what kind of language are we using, Beatrice?
Anglais.
English. We are mostly using English, a little bit French, little bit Chinese, depend the moment.
Ever since we left Hong Kong, we've been sailing in the wake of container ships packed with goods made in China, the world's factory. Leaving Singapore, I open a new chapter of my adventure. Now that I've penetrated the Indian Ocean, I plunge into the pursuit of Sinbad the Sailor, Vasco da Gama, and all the navigators who, over several centuries, wrote the story of that famous route, the Spice Route.